Adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming. It's a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives.
My name is Trevor, and I have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old.
And on this podcast, we try to show that just because you became a dad
Does not mean it's game over.
and not only that, but surprising everybody, one of the dads
I mean,
on the show is super hip and cool. Totally
right.
with it.
let's have the audience guess.
Yeah, well, obviously it's going to be yourself. But I'll say this, I feel a bit betrayed.
Oh.
I don't know that I've been cool or hip at any point in my life.
Oh.
And to learn that you are at the cutting edge of gaming to where you're beyond where your kids are, it hurts a little bit. It feels like a betrayal of the show and the purpose of it.
I mean, I shouldn't have left you in the cold. I should have just contacted you immediately and be like, Trevor, if you want to score points with your kids and just be this cool dad, this is the
cool
game.
Dad.
This is the game.
Cool dad. Now, so cue up the story. The game that Jeff had picked and mentioned to his kids ended up being a huge hit. Despite it's like, whatever, Dad. I'm sure the game you think is cool is great, Dad.
Sure.
Turns out it's huge. Walk us through the story and how you picked out Lethal Company.
So, again, about a month ago, before this game was popular, I saw this random article about this game that had funny kind of proximity chat as part of its kind of, thing that would hold people's attention, right? So I'm reading up on it. I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. Saw a couple of videos on it, just random people playing it. Again, this game is not popular at all at this point. And I'm laughing just at the way the chat works in this game. And for those that don't know, Lethal Company is like a first-person kind of... It's almost like Phasmophobia. Like there's horror elements to it, but you're going into starships on moons, I think, and you're trying to gather pieces of materials and get out. Of course, everything is kind of haunted, and you go in there with a team, and you kind of split up, and one person can see you, and there's no map, and it's really dark, and the graphics are kind of like
PS1 era.
PS1 era, so that kind of contributes to the whole environment and not being able to see. And anyway, it's a riot when you play with people that and everybody's freaking out and stuff. And the proximity chat really comes alive when there's just funny things going on, right? So I see all these videos and I say, hey, Jude, come here. I want to show you this video, right? And so my 13-year-old gets it, I show them the phone and he's all like, yeah, great, Dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, one of those yeah, sure, Dad. Yeah. I'm glad you're happy.
Right, this is nothing. The graphics look kind of crappy. It doesn't look like a good game. That's the response I got, right? I'm like, what are you talking about? Among Us is big. I mean, these kind of graphics can be a thing. Anyway, they left it. And then not 3 weeks later, Lethal Company is huge. Massive. Everybody's playing it. It's on Twitch. I see TikToks on it, everything. It's everywhere. And all of a sudden, my 13-year-old comes to me and said, what? Okay, so I downloaded that game you were talking about.
Okay, listen. Don't get excited. But I downloaded the game you suggested.
Yeah. And
it's cool, I guess.
It's funny. All my friends love it, and they said it was great, and it's such a great game, and that I thought of it, whatever.
So pause right there. And bring us back to that moment into your mind, as your childhood had dismissed you as whatever, Dad, go wear your Crocs and barbecue or something.
Yep.
And they come back to you and say it's pretty cool. I guess all my friends love it. It's great. So they have fully acknowledged your gaming tastes.
Just vindicated. Just
angels singing. It's just
That's right. Your old man knows what's going on in the gaming world. I've got a podcast.
Yeah. I'm sponsored by Nintendo sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. We were invited out. This is a big thing. Yeah, no, it was total vindication. I had pride. I was oh my, this is finally, I've been accepted. But again, my 13-year-old was over the moon on just like gaining those friend points. Like he picked out this cool game. All his friends are still playing it. Like again, this game is bananas, and the laughter I hear from this game, and it's just it's working as intended, right? Like that's what my thing was. Like you're being social. You're with your group. Yes, the game itself is probably meant for a 13-plus-year-old. Like it's not a youngin' game, but that social aspect is hilarious.
So let me do a couple of random questions. I've heard of this game. Every time I'm on Twitch, there's a couple streamers going all over it. So it got huge. So you definitely picked it. But I've never seen it, never played it. Now, so first couple questions is it cost? Do you buy this game? Is it free?
Yeah, there is a cost to it. I think it's like $11-12.
Okay,
like
beautiful.
It's nothing big.
Excellent. Okay, that's a wonderful thing. So it's you as a team, random teammates online, all come together, and just it's a stated goal. So kind of janky graphics running around, survival mechanics of trying to, okay, you got to collect these resources, get back in time, don't get eaten, type of thing, right?
Basically. And like the things that are out there to put up a barrier or hunt you or pose a problem are usually pretty randomized. And that's adding to the hilarity of things because you don't know who you're going to run into and people like scream, run around, whatever.
So now the proximity chat, that's interesting. Is it because we've often flagged for other gaming dads the challenges with online chat, especially with strangers and type of thing. And you seemed all about this. Now, is it hilarious because the context of what's happening and everybody seems pretty chill, or is it kind of limited to what folks can say? Like, is it are people using their voices in the chat and you can hear them?
They are using their voices in the chat when you're near them, right? So like they still have to be, I think it's the whole point is that it's a co-op game and people are just having fun in this co-op game. There's no competition for anything. So no one's like, popping off being crazy on the chat that I've heard of. Okay. Usually my 13-year-old goes in with all of his friends anyway, and they have you can join a lobby as a team. So they're pretty safe that way. As far as I know. Now, good old dad here might not hear everything, but I do have to put trust in that my older child can kind of determine, when the chat is going wrong or being a little bit more toxic. But for the most part, it's been pretty fun. It works. If you don't have the chat function on this thing, it doesn't work, right? So you have to be aware of that for sure.
Okay. So
comfortable.
Great. So far, the community seems very supportive. It's not competitive. It's not high stress. It's like a Call of Duty where you're trying to desperately win in a high stress situation. No. It is four people goofing about in sort of a janky, fun game.
Janky, survival, kind of creepy game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, called it. Amazing.
Right?
Gaming Dad win right here. So, hey, gaming dads listening, have you had experience with Lethal Company? Is it something you suggest to your kid? Reach out to us at New Dad Gaming on Instagram, Threads, Twitter, or newdadgaming.com. Now, you had a win, and you had a horrific loss, a terrible loss, a terrible choice even, which more surprisingly it's from a game that has ascended to many of the top 10 lists from the year, which is surprising. And apparently it got so bad, this is a ditch, throw out the window, never touch again.
Yep.
So you drowned in a sea of stars.
I did. Yes. Like you mentioned, this game has been top 10 lists. It was at the Game Awards. People love this game. And from the looks of it, what drew me in was like, it's got pixel graphics. It's an old classic RPG. It's got Chrono Trigger kind of duo tech combos happening. It looks fantastic. Music's fantastic. And then it just so happened that like my PS Plus, this is the last year I have it because the prices went up. But I have all the extra stuff, and Sea of Stars is on there. So I'm like, cost me nothing. I'm going to download and play it. And Trevor, like I will say, I am pretty good at RPGs. I am not this newbie.
I can verify. You are better than me at RPGs, and I'm okay at RPGs. So that's a pretty low bar. Jeff is. I don't need to do it that way. Jeff is good at RPGs. Let's go with that.
Yes. So like I know the mechanics of what it's trying to introduce. I go through the tutorial area. I get through a little bit of the story. Okay, I'm off in this open world now. And I don't know if the game sets up to try and be difficult at the start. You know, like, hey, we're really going to push you because you're weak. And then when you get stronger, you're going to come back here and laugh.
It's going to feel great.
That's right? This is going to be amazing, right? So I pushed through a couple of tough battles. I'm like, these are just random encounters. And I'm getting kind of like, okay, this is going to drag a little bit. And then I thought I was going into like a secret area for treasure because, you know, you explore the map, whatever.
Of course.
And I had posted it on Threads and Twitter. There's an encounter with a bunch of ants. And you might be thinking, hey, ants, that's not too bad.
That's RPG 101 first village task type of stuff.
I'm thinking Final Fantasy 1, the imps that you would encounter. Like sometimes there'd be 9 of them, whatever. But then you can get through it. Like it's not that trying. These ants just summon more ants, and I'm immediately outnumbered, and I lose all my progress because they just keep hitting me, and I can't kill them fast enough because they could just keep multiplying. They don't have like one turn of summon. They can do it however many times they want. So I lost all my progress because the last save point was like 10 minutes away, and if this is the beginning area, I pieced out. I'm like, you know what? I don't have the nerves for this, and I know it's going to throw harder curveballs later on. Like, this is not going to happen. I'm sorry, and I just closed the game.
It's not the nerves, it's the time. It's like, dads don't got time for this. It's like, at an earlier age with more time, maybe you could do it, and fine. If you completely maxed your strategy, like, maybe it would be fine. But, like, look, we got the kids are asleep. The adult beverages are poured. It's time for New Dad Gaming, right? Like, this is it. And to spend there's a certain challenge curve that's kind of acceptable within those parameters to make sure we're actually playing and enjoying ourselves. So I hear the death, man, there must be, I can't recall any off the top of my head, but the number of times it was, this death has cost me so much. I don't have the stones to go back and just waste my time again to do it. I'm just going to watch it on YouTube and forget it.
You know, that's really where I'm going. And honestly, this looks like a fantastic game for people that want this, right? Like, give it a shot. The quality is there. But I will say, a person that is a big RPG player, is an Elden Ring player, is a Dark Souls player, and can understand challenges and barriers and how to, like, get around them. This just felt like, oh, okay, you're just throwing in cheap shots to make me die and restart. Like, it just felt kind of cheap, and I don't know where else it's going to put that in, and I didn't want to waste my time.
That's a really important delineating line. There's something that's difficult, and then there's something that's unnecessarily cheap. And it's like all right, so it's a low level thing, but they can just respawn infinitely, and I'm just going to get punished perpetually. And there's no skill that I can master. It's more just, this game has decided to punish me, and I'm an adult man. I can make decisions not to play this, so I'm going to walk away.
Well, exactly. And like, even mechanically, I thought there would be a run button or escape.
Sure.
And unless I'm not seeing it, you can't. So you just take it. And then you just see the game over screen, and that's when I closed it.
It's like, well, that was fun.
That was it. I gave it a shot. I gave it a handy shake, but
we're gonna just let that drift off to sea and see if stars let it be.
Boom! I love these transitions. They're great.
It's a sink or swim, and just it wasn't gonna happen.
It wasn't. I do want you to try it out, though. I'm not to, like, you know, oh, Trevor, go and die in this game an hour in. But to see if you like it. If you like Chrono Trigger. I don't know if you were a big fan.
On my retro handheld, is one of the ones that I started. Liked it. It was cool. It's one that I really wanted to commit to beating, because it's one of those that is often heralded as one of the greatest games ever built.
Yeah.
Had never beaten it before. And I got to the future, and I got kind of lost, and it kind of somewhat similar. It was just like I was just running around. It's like I'm doing a lot of random battles, and I have no idea what to do, and it's kind of hard to search without context as to. And now you're supposed to, right? So I will take a look. I'll see if I have it available somewhere. I'm probably not going to plunk down
I wouldn't buy
$60
it,
based
no.
on this review.
No.
But I'll see if I can find it. And hey, as always, gaming dads, if you have your own experience with it, we'd love to hear from you at New Dad Gaming, newdadgaming.com. We had This Dad's Platinum Journey, good friend of the show, a wild man as far as someone who gets platinum trophies on so many games on a stream. Do check him out. Oh man, I watched someone stream this and it got frustrating. You've got to take them down quick. It's like, well, yeah. It's like, oh, you just need to kill them. You see, Jeff, we would have been fine.
Yeah, I mean, this Dad's Platinum Journey probably knows way better than me.
Oh,
he's probably platinum this thing. I'm like, give me some tips.
He is a very good gamer. He could probably have beat this one. So
Yeah.
So we got Trevor at the bottom. We got Jeff somewhere in the middle, and then like This Dad's Platinum Journey is just in the stratosphere.
Way ahead of us.
Yeah. So hey, reach out to us that. Now a game we might have more luck with because it seems to be family friendly, and this is sort of the conversation I'm looking to have here. Was the release of Fortnite Lego and Fortnite Racing.
Oh, okay.
And as much of fantastic, or I should say, interesting articles that were written about this, where people were saying, Meta tried to have the metaverse, and Fortnite is just building it. Because on the grand arch of what it was, Fortnite was a battle royale game, the battle royale game. If you think about it, the thing that like kind of launched the genre into mainstream.
Yeah.
Right. And as we, give them their due, they obviously have some pretty lousy monetization and season pass type stuff that goes on, unfortunately. However, all things considered, they don't rest on their laurels. They have continually innovated, done interesting and fascinating things. And we've seen this with the huge concerts. Like, I think you recalled once, were you part of it was like an Ariana Grande concert you went to once?
I was part of one of them. It wasn't her, but it was another big. Oh, it was in the end of when their season was ending and the whole sky cracked and everything. I forget what happened though, but no, platform changing, right?
Yeah, so they never rest on that. They continue their pushing it. So it's at least it is fascinating. It is interesting to watch them. And again, what they have done is they still have Fortnite, just straight up Fortnite. They have Fortnite no build, which to me is like dad mode. Because it's just the building was the hardest thing to kind of wrap your head around. Like run around, pew pew, shoot each other, fine. Like we've been doing that since we're kids. Building a tower 30 stories high, just forget it. Dad don't got time for that. So some dads don't have time. I should quantify. There's some very talented dads out there. These dads don't have time for it. How about that? So that was great. But with these releases, what they've done is it's an entire new game. It's got some of the same familiar trappings, so you're running around. It's the same kind of graphics and worlds as Fortnite. The building now is done with Lego, and if you watch any of the clips, it's gorgeously rendered.
Yeah.
Like I think it's an Unreal 5, but so everything kind of like builds up with bricks, everything destroys as such, and it is a co-op survival sim game. Now, unfortunately, as per this taping, I haven't had a chance to play it. I'd wanted to, just did not have a chance with all of the holiday shenanigans going on. But they launched this, so it's an entirely new game. Seems incredibly friendly. Blew up on Twitch, much like Lethal Company. People just love it. This company does not stop. And not only did they launch that, they have Fortnite Lego, Fortnite events, which I didn't kind of mention, but I think that's more of an avenue. It's like, look, there is no games. It is just the parties and the events. Mm-hmm. Come to this. And then they released Fortnite Racing, which at first I felt a little bit dubious about because it seemed like, oh no, they just stole Rocket League. They stole like the cars and everything Rocket League. That's a shame.
Yeah.
But they didn't. No, they worked with Rocket League to build this game. So this is it's Psionic, I believe is the name of it.
Yeah.
So Epic works with Psionic. Do they own them? Anyways,
maybe they do.
However, they worked with the Psionic team to bring the Rocket League cars into the world of Fortnite and then built just a kart racing wild shenanigan game. So it's all the fun and mishaps of the way the Rocket League cars feel, but in an actual just racing sim built within the Fortnite world. All this comes around to what I'm saying is, as far as like the quote unquote metaverse, is that they have built a gaming engine and a gaming platform. You have an account, you have skins, you have friends, you're doing everything. What would you like to do today? You and your friends will go off to the events part because we're going to go watch The Weeknd have a huge blow up party. That was fun. Let's go off and race some cars for a while in an entirely separate game. Okay, great. Let's play some Lego, or let's go back and play some OG Fortnite. So I worry I'm almost like overemphasizing it, but it's just so. It is honestly for me one of the more fascinating developments in gaming that exist, as far as like this entire world and universe that they're building. Like, what was your reaction when you saw all of this launch? Did you have much of a reaction, or did you just kind of think it was more Fortnite stuff and didn't pay attention?
No, I'm always interested in what Fortnite tends to drop, because like you were saying, like they always experiment, which can be very dangerous for a brand when you kind of play with, what it's doing and what it's putting out there. And they've been really successful. And, some of those little fails that they've had along the way have just helped them innovate to where they are now, I think, right? You definitely have an audience there that kind of wants the new thing all the time, and they're playing to that. And I don't know if we're witnessing like the building of a legitimate Roblox like platform, right? Where they are now.
It's a Roblox we can finally support.
Yeah, right? Like they're curated, they're like handcrafted, I get it. And then, it just builds from here. And maybe they do have a platform where you create your own custom platform games within their world. But I can see them, this is how you evolve this game and keep it in that gaming sphere all the time. Like something new's happening. What I will say though, like the Lego stuff. So I remember we were talking a few episodes ago and you're like, my kids want to get into Fortnite, but not so sure. Wondering if Lego is a baby step that would be allowable. I don't know.
Yeah. So here's the thinking, and I'd love to hear from gaming dads, their thoughts is it feels like it might be an in, because I like the quality of the game that they put. I like the thoughtfulness, like the long-standing effort and everything else that they put into it. So if my kids put some time into this, a little bit like Fortnite, where they have their characters, they have all their skins and everything, and they've invested in the platform, I get to a point where I'd almost prefer them to be in this one than I would in Roblox, which is just like an IP nightmare, as opposed to a company legitimately trying to like put out some stuff. That's not okay. Let me back up. That's a little bit too harsh for Roblox. I honestly appreciate Roblox for what they do. I just don't necessarily like some of the games that encapsulate my kids. So let me walk that back a little bit. That's a bit too harsh. But all things being equal, if I had a chance between them playing Fortnite Lego or playing Roblox, I would prefer Lego Fortnite, because just given like the general quality I've seen of that game and like the care for it. My concern would be is it, and I'll ask you this, does that mean I'm just exposing them to shady monetization practices and kind of getting them locked into this epic world where they're going to feel compelled to purchase because their friends have skins? Like what would be your reaction to your kids are a bit older than mine, of course, but what would be your reaction to them trying to get into this sphere?
Yeah, like you're definitely exposing them to something that is going to have a lot of that microtransaction stuff in your face. Like when you log in, you're not going to be able to find this game that easily. Like if you want to go into Lego Racing, I don't know how the UI looks now, but the last time I was in there, like there's a ton that you can buy. There's the seasons going on. It would usually pop up with a whole bunch of stuff that kind of pops for new and returning users, right? So you definitely have to have an eye on this one. But also like with Roblox, all that stuff is there as well. Just it's not as like you're not spending real money necessarily. Like there's Robux that you have to have that currency kind of available, and this one is like if it's linked to your credit card, you can just go with it. So we don't want that to happen again. But I don't know. I think it's a comfort level thing, because they definitely will have fun with this. It looks clean. It looks fun. It looks well built, like you were saying. It's a Lego brand. I'm not sure how much they would want their users exposed to microtransactions, so maybe it's limited in a
interesting
sense. But
and you look at some of the combat too. What's nice too is, as best I've seen, there is no, man, that is fascinating. I never even thought about that. So first I'll say, like, there's no guns. So Fortnite guns, it's a la Looney Tunes as far as like Elmer Fudd having a shotgun.
Right.
We all watched that as kids, so it's like I don't find the guns in Fortnite particularly offensive. It's I let them play Plants vs Zombies, And
Right.
for all and the one guy has two corns for hands, and he shoots kernels at you.
Yeah.
That honestly is the same as the Fortnite guns, in my estimation, because it's just all slapdash, silly cartoon stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't. It's that there's a chasm between that and Call of Duty.
Oh,
put it
for
that-
sure. Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But even still, it is still a different type of interaction for characters. So it's now with Fortnite Lego, it is just hatchets and like swords and things. So it's a bit more fantasy in that way. Like there's like night and survival, and like wolves come, and then you and your team have to build shelter and defend it, and like, but you're using kind of classic, almost like a la Minecraft.
I was about to say that's very close to the creepers.
100%. Like it's very. It looks like it rips off some of that for sure. So So all that being said, yeah, what needs to happen is I need to play it, get into it, kind of get a sense of like what it's about, and I hate to say it this way, I want it to be good because I'd almost like to use it as the wedge I can put between my kids and Roblox.
Yeah.
Because
You dangle this carrot over here instead of the Roblox carrot over there. You're just like, come on, kids.
I just think my challenge would be is I think they'd like it. I think they'll get into it. I think one of the quote unquote benefits of Roblox is the perpetual changing of. It's like this one's a race game. This one's a battle sim game. This is a tower defense game. This is a parkour game. You know what I mean? Like it's the diversity of experiences as opposed to Lego Fortnite is the thing.
This is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like I will play it. I will perhaps and then consider introducing them to it. My challenge would be is I can't introduce it to my oldest and not have my youngest, who's like 6.
Of course
also
not.
play.
That doesn't work.
So well, you can have it, but not you. You stick to Peppa Pig, dear
That
sir.
always works. Yeah, exactly.
So I will take a look and see and report back. And I'd love to hear from other gaming dads who might be looking at it. But as far as it is worth paying attention to as a company and as a story and as a story arc that is happening, because it's just to see them perpetually evolve is fascinating. Just fascinating.
Yeah, for sure. And like what's going to be next, right? And I think the Lego is a good introduction to capture that kind of
There we go.
Roblox audience, right? So
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I did want to. You made a great point, and I want to swing back around to it. Lego doesn't mess around. Like Lego, Lego is careful with their IP. So the fact that the other thing that kind of gives me some confidence that this isn't going to be a bad thing is Lego would not let them produce crazy, awful monetization garbage. Mm-hmm. Right? I feel confident Lego would be protecting their IP and not allow it to be attached necessarily. Right? Look, they're a corporation, so it's not like they're Mother Teresa or anything like that. At the same time, it's just it gives you some degree of confidence. Like, oh, Lego, okay, like now Lego Batman, all this good stuff. I see.
right, yeah.
No, sorry, I did want to call that out because I thought that was really great. Okay, so last one here. Quick story, dads. Quick story to wrap up the evening. So, and this is how one of your favorite, one of your top 2 gaming dads. Not first place in the game. Yeah, got judo body slammed by his child the other day. So one of my we all have those dad lines. These are lines that your parents would say to you. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. It's like the just do it because I say so, or something like that. Like while you're living under my roof, or you know what I mean. So the quintessential classic like dad comments or messages.
Yeah.
So I have one. I have come up with one.
Okay.
that I use quite a bit in my household, and it's needs a strong word. Because what will happen is like my kids will say, it's like, oh, we gotta go and like buy something. I need it. I really need to have this toy. And I had stopped them. It's like, needs a strong word.
Yeah. You need food. You need shelter. You don't need the toy. I get it.
You want it. So so I pull that all the time, right? And I think we were driving home from some event downtown, and I was driving along. It's like, oh, I want to stop somewhere. Like, I need a coffee. Man, smart ass in the back seat. with the perfect timing that I suppose he was blessed with. He's like, needs a strong word, Dad. It's like,
Perfect.
you jerk.
That's perfect.
I've never been more simultaneously proud and furious at the same moment to use my own damn linguistic rigmarole against me. How dare you, and how good for you. I'm so proud and pissed off simultaneously. Needs a strong word, Dad. Like, you jackass.
That is perfect, and just like the little sponge that he is, right? Just like repeated back. And I bet you just kept driving, right? Like you didn't get that coffee, of course not.
Probably after being bodied like that, I needed to go lie down. I needed to run home and just like think about my choices in life.
That's it.
Just bodied, man.
Wow,
They
that's
get smart. They get smart very quick.
leveled up for themselves for sure.
Oh, just destroyed. I don't know that I'll ever recover from that one. And every time I say it now, I'll always have that thought in the back of my head, like, oh, I remember the time. That was pretty good.
It's probably like gonna stop you even just saying it at all.
Oh, that's
It's
not
like,
true.
Nope, can't do it.
It's one of my favorites. I pull it out all the time still. I got to be ready for it now at any moment, just in case.
That's true. Yeah.
But hey, Gaming Dads, have you had an instance of this? We'd love to hear from you because we're going to be wrapping up for the week. So, do you have any instances from the stories today? We'd absolutely love to hear from you. Did you get into Lethal Company? Have you had a victory in suggesting a game to your kids? Sea of Stars. Is Jeff just weak? Or do you
I could be.
What's your thoughts on the new Fortnite games? And have you ever had your kids judo you with your own words? We'd love to hear all about this. Like, reach out to us at New Dad Gaming on Instagram, Threads, X, and newdadgaming.com. If you want to follow us on Twitch, I've been streaming every Friday, currently doing Marvel Snap. It's been an absolute blast with some of the community, watching me just fail miserably playing this card game, but having fun doing so. At New Dad Gaming Podcast on Twitch. We'll have all these linked up in the show notes. We'd love to hear from it. If you did like the show, what really does help the show is if you can subscribe to the show, and even more, leave a rating or a comment. Really does help the show, boost the signal, gets it out to as many gaming dads as possible. You can find us on all the major podcasting networks: Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Caster, Google Play, anywhere where you get your podcast. Just search New Dad Gaming. Everybody, we cannot thank you enough for letting us into your ears for this little bit every week as we all learned to game with our kids together.
That's right.
All right, until next week, everyone. My name is Trevor, and I have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old.
And I have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old that they don't need anything, but they want a lot of things.
Or needs a strong word.
Needs a strong word.
Yeah. But I do need to remind you that just because you became a dad
Does not mean it's game over.